Thank you.
Thank you, and I thank the Chamber for the opportunity just to make a few comments in this debate. It is the case that we're having this conversation in the context of the most recent round of the Blackspots program having closed just last week, round 4. I have taken the opportunity to put submissions into that website and also to write directly to the Minister about the issues in my electorate, and I appreciate the opportunity to do that. It is the case in particular in my area that there are a number of transport routes, and several members have talked about the safety issue of having more remote areas or major transport corridors able to have mobile access. And so I just want to take the opportunity, because in putting that submission together, I surveyed the electorate. Hundreds of people responded, and I want to acknowledge the time they took to give me the feedback. Not all of my electorate is eligible, but there was excellent feedback for the areas that I was able to put forward. I particularly want to report to the House on behalf of all of those constituents the transport corridors that need focus, in particular the South Coast Rail line. There are a lot of people commute from my region into Sydney, and one of the things that makes a long and tiring commuting life bearable is to be able to knock off some of the either work-related or even personal banking and those sorts of things that you might need to do on the train while you're travelling home, so that once you get home you can actually spend some quality time with your family. And between about Thirroul and Helensburgh on the South Coast line, it just completely drops out, and people are for a very extended period of time on that commute without mobile phone coverage. The government did contribute towards a new base station at Coldcliff, which would help alleviate that problem on that line in round 1 of this particular program. So that was in 2015. And the other week I joined my 2 state colleagues, Ryan Park and Paul Scully, on calling on the New South Wales Government to get on with finding a solution to where to base that base station. We're now up to round 4 and they still haven't resolved the positioning of a base station from round 1 that's very important to a major commuter corridor. And so we've written to the State Minister asking him to meet with Telstra urgently and get a resolution to that particular one. There's also the Picton Road is a major road of connecting my region into, particularly running up to Sydney or down to Canberra, very heavily used. With the member for Kira, Ryan Park, I had raised that on behalf of a constituent who spoke to us, Mrs Hayat Hanna. She lost her sister on that road, and at the time when that fatal accident occurred, they were unable to get mobile phone coverage. So in an earlier round, there was a base station funded on that road, which I'm hoping will be resolved soon, but there are still a number of other black spots, so I've submitted for those. And the Appin Road is a similar experience heading into southwestern Sydney from my region, so we've included those. I just want to finish up by really speaking out in this parliament on behalf of some constituents at Darks Forest. Darks Forest is a fairly small community at the very north of my electorate in very heavily wooded up sort of national park type area. The Darks Forest people have been struggling not only with mobile phone coverage. They went off when we lost government a fibre-based broadband solution. They're on satellite. That's been an extremely frustrating process for them. Mr Ian Coote, who runs a small business in that area, wrote to me the other week, and we're following up on his behalf. We've submitted Darks Forest as a black spot program under this particular round, and we'll continue to work to try and get a better resolution of their broadband services into those areas as well. So I'm just putting this on the public record for the Minister and the Government that I'm very, very keen to see these issues resolved in the current round of the Black Spot program. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.